Novalands arrives on the Switch very soon, and today we're going to be walking you through a demo of the game in an early preview ahead of release, detailing what it's all about and whether it's going to be worth an add to your library. I'll say this up front, I may have just found my new addiction, so hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and let's get into it with the brief story that has been introduced. So I'm curious to see where this narrative goes with this experience, because while it's not given me a lot this far, it seems there's quite a bit of mystery surrounding my role and these people in this world. Now it seems we've landed on an unknown planet and we are some sort of exploration crew, and while our pod landing is definitely rough, we remain unharmed and we quickly meet a colleague who will relocate to a small island where a camp is being set up. And there really begins this adventure. It's simple stuff, but as we do progress, we are introduced to additional characters with their own individual roles in this world, and it appears this far they kind of act as a support. They bring in resources and in turn they do provide rewards. I like the eshop description for this game a lot. The opening line, if you were to mix Factorio, Forager and Satisfactory together, Novalands would be just that, and I do think that is spot on. It's clear they're wearing their influences on their sleeve, and that is never a bad thing if it is done right. I actually got a good 4 hours of gameplay out of this demo, and it's definitely generous, and the progress here will carry over, always a positive. But it's really been a game of exploration, base building and automation. Now I will say here that the game lacks any real guides. It's an experience designed to reward you by simply investigating the world and the items in the construction screen found on the left side of the screen. So you've definitely got to have, an air of, curiosity about your personality. This style of gameplay, however, lives and dies by its intuitive controls, and thankfully so far it's been easy to pick up and play with a very basic control scheme attached to our lead. It's going to be movement, the ability to collect resources with a trigger, and I've just unlocked a jetpack for the left trigger and also an offensive maneuver thanks to a gun. Novalands is really starting to introduce as well a local wildlife, it appears, and they won't always be friendly, so it seems that's where the gun is going to come into play, and if anything, honestly, they are nearly always annoying if not on the attack. They're just kind of littering the landscape, so you may want to remove them. It does start, however, simple enough, with the ability to build a furnace and an oxygen tower that you'll need to manage constantly, but before I knew it, I had the ability to unlock a researcher station and droids to assist in resource gathering. I was adding locations to store goods, as my backpack ability is shockingly small, see the bottom of the screen, and I could as well build a workbench. Now as things progressed, however, it quickly picked up the pace, and before I knew it, I was unlocking new structures, including a radar to identify nearby islands. That's where you will find many of your colleagues, but I was also then leveling up my character. So leveling up is actually influenced by the bar across the top of the screen, which is gradually filled with nearly every action you take. These skills actually fall then into 4 categories: automation, personal, exploration and production. I think here the furnace operates 25% quicker, or the oxygen station now works more efficiently. To be honest, I thought this was going to be relatively relaxed as experiences go, and that's kind of what the opening moments suggest, but as you can kind of see from the gameplay here, now I'm all over this place. I'm filling oxygen, visiting one of the 4 islands that I have unlocked. That's to basically gather additional resources. I'm managing just 2 bots that I've put to work for common resources that I need frequently, and I'm on basic resource gathering quests to ensure my colleagues are going to be willing to help me in the future. These colleagues as well, they can do a lot of things. For example, they can improve my equipment, such as increasing my inventory size, something I'm aiming for quickly. They can improve my oxygen tank for when I'm too far from my location. And then also I can add on things like new character skins, I can get new tools, I can get new weapons. There's also some sort of hub location that I can enter, but I'm still unsure what it is for and what role it will play in the future. So basically, I still have a way to go, even in the demo myself, but I'm seeing that the game packs in 39 challenges, I've completed only 1, there are 13 islands, I've unlocked 4, there are 36 skills, I've unlocked 4 of these, and then the research tree opens up 37 different possibilities, and I personally only have 6. There's also then ratings on your equipment, so you can improve them, that's a star rating process where I've done very little damage. There are relics, I have a 1 which attaches a bot to work alongside you, and there are badges which I presume here these are built-in achievements. Basically, the game, the air I'm getting here is it's going to be feature rich. It's going to keep you busy. It's going to be a long journey ahead of you. I say this not only as well because of the number of objectives I clearly outlined but when you look at challenges, there's one that's linked to 50 different buildings and one has 40 bots working for you. That's a ton when you think, again, I currently have 2 and it can already feel a little manic at times. Problems so far, I've noticed some brief fluctuations with the frame rate, though minor, but I'm curious to see how the game handles it when we do have, 50 different buildings. And then the resource gathering, you automatically pick up items. It gets a little frustrating though, because you have to drop certain items that you don't need. They remain in place in the world though, so basically you'll be walking around and you'll end up constantly picking them back up again and repeating that drop process. I can't say how this will be handled for the rest of the game, but I'm hoping there will be maybe automation around the bots moving it to storage, or even the ability to destroy these items. They're not basically required, so why would we keep them? And that would really be, in my opinion, the ideal setup. Overall, though, for this demo, I've got to admit that the gameplay loop has me locked in. The resource gathering is always a loop I do enjoy, and the ability to unlock new items, buildings, skills, locations, leveling up, it just has me absolutely into it. Throw in the fact then that there's some mystery around this location as well, and it's slowly introducing new characters, and I really think we may be onto a winner here. I'm also excited to see how we can connect these islands together so it becomes as automated as possible. I'm seeing things such as power structures, but it's really unclear how or why these will be leveraged. Visually then, I do like it. It's basic top-down 2D presentation, but I find that charming. I get an air of Forager from the game here. However, the world is quickly becoming more populated, and I've never had any difficulty understanding what resources are around me and what is occurring on the screen. Our animations are particularly impressive as we use a weapon of sorts to extract the necessary resources, and then each location as well has a slight variance in its design. So far I've seen an almost barren wasteland, greenery with a wildlife, and a town surrounded by trees. I think the most important element of the visuals, however, will be the menus, and that's where I think they've done their best work. It's easy to navigate the on-screen menus thanks to the D-pad, and then the skill tree, the individual menus such as research, they are easy to navigate and understand. The only thing I don't like visually is how dialogue text appears. I guess it feels a little cheap, like someone just discovered the effects built into Microsoft Excel for a presentation. And just occasionally, when you're trying to construct something, the list of required items, I did feel it could be a little small. The audio then, we're going to keep it quick. We have some great little sound effects for our actions. I was particularly impressed with the crash landings. They really kind of sell the damage of what's occurring. There's no voice acting, but there's an accompanying effect that hasn't become annoying so far, which is always going to be a good thing. And the music here is non-intrusive, it's relaxed, and I remember very little of it so far, but that is fine given it's a game that we're intending to spend hours upon hours in. The demo then has piqued my curiosity. I'm now excited for that full release. It appears they have many moving pieces and they've managed to bring them together in a way that works with a simple control scheme and just overall a good design around those menus. It's just addictive. I can't help but gather up resources even when I don't need them. I can't help but look at the unlocks ahead and try to figure out how I'll be using them. And now I'm seeing my world grow and I want to understand more about these characters. If you do want to try this demo for yourself, you actually can, but I'm not seeing it on the North American or UK EU stores. I actually stumbled upon it on the Japanese eShop where it is now live, and as you can see, it features full English support, so take a look for yourself. It's a game though that's simplifying some complex ideas, so a demo is going to be a great decision to help bring people in and to also just simply see if it's going to be one for you. When you do check it out though, let me know what you think, and for those that also want to wait, of course, I'm sure this demo will go live in other regions soon enough. So with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, lists and news daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.